Okay, this is the final edit for the Jupyter paper. Really, almost the last thing you'll do in the case of this year in this class. Before I get to all the MLA stuff, I do want to say a couple things. Number one, I really do appreciate those of you who have stuck around, who are still working, especially in the face of trying circumstances. Uh, I say that one for me because for me this class is about you. It's about things that I genuinely feel you will need coming up in the immediate future, whatever you do, but especially if you go to college. These are papers you're going to have to write. You're going to have to know how to write them. You're going to have to be confident writing them. I hope that does what it I hope you can do that at this point. So for me, I'm very thankful because as I said, I want this class to be about you, and if you're hanging around, I like to believe that you feel you get merit out of this. Secondly, I hope for yourselves, you're ready to write these kinds of papers or any kind of paper that you're going to get at the next level or any writing you're going to do at the next level. That's the goal, and I really feel this class is useful for that, and I hope you feel that way as well. So with that said, MLA formatting, the final edit for your Jupyter paper. Much of this presentation is borrowed heavily from Purdue's OWL, Purdue's Online Writing Lab. I usually say in the last day, but there won't really be a last day, so I will tell you now. When you go, for those of you who are going on to college, as soon as you get there, a couple of things. Number one, check out where your writing lab is, because every single college has one. I don't care if it's Madison College or Harvard. They all have one. They're not going to come to you. You got to find them. So they're all there. Please use them. Secondly, find your medical and mental health people on campus because they're also there for you, but they're not going to come to find you. And hopefully getting the writing lab to help you will help with your mental health. Purdue specifically has probably the best online writing lab in the country. So if you have any questions, please consult it. It's there. It's easy to navigate, and it's, as I said, the best in the country. And this particular PowerPoint will go over MLA 8th edition formatting style and guide. This will cover basically updates. This is again the 8th edition, which was updated in 2016. It will cover all of this stuff, which I will go over. I'm not going to go heavily over the works cited page or the in-text citations because we've already gone over that, but they are in this slideshow. All right, MLA, Modern Language Association style formatting is often used in various humanities disciplines, which means MLA. Humanities subjects are literature, history, poli-sci, geography, law, religion, philosophy, archaeology, anthropology, languages, art, etc. You write any paper in those classes, you're probably using MLA, and you will write papers in those classes. APA, or American Psychiatric Association, is the preferred formatting for behavioral, social, and hard sciences, biology, psychology, chemistry, medical, etc. There are other formatting styles. Chicago is one that is sometimes used, though that's usually only for published works, and you won't have to worry about that in the immediate future. But MLA and APA are the two major ones, and we're using MLA. Number one rule for any formatting style, whatever your instructor says, follow it. Your instructor doesn't want you to specifically do MLA stuff or whatever. Just do what they tell you. That's it. That's number one rule. Priority. With that said, these are the style guidelines for MLA formatting. You type it on 8x5 by 11. You don't have to worry about that. But number one, you double space everything. Everything. Number two, use 12-point Times New Roman font or similar conservative font. Don't use Comic Sans. Don't use Wingdings. Conservative. If you have any questions, just go to Times New Roman. Leave only one space after punctuation. You probably all do that. There was a time 30, 40 years ago when people used typewriters that they used two spaces after the punctuation because typewriter had a different sort of it made it a smaller space, and that just became the standard. The new standard, the current standard, the standard you want is one space. Set all margins to 1 inch on all sides and indent the first line of paragraphs 1/2 inch. If you're typing on a keyboard, that's the tab key. If you're typing on the iPad, then that's about 5 spaces. With that said, general guidelines. There is a header with page numbers in the upper right-hand corner. I'll show you an example of that in a second. Here's one I really want to be clear on. Italics for big titles. What are big titles? The New York Times is a big title. The Washington Post is a big title. Sports Illustrated is a big title. By big, it means it's a big volume. Might be a big volume in terms of it's a book. It might also be a big volume in terms of it is a recurring periodical like the New York Times. If you have an album, for example, the CD, the name of the album would be italicized, but little titles, those go in quotes. So, New York Times, italics, but let's say there's an article in the New York Times. That's in quotes. Let's say you have a book, published book. That's in italics. A chapter name, that's in quotes. A poem, that's in quotes. Let's say, again, you have an album, the album name, italics, song titles, in quotes. So big titles, italics. Little titles, quotes. Endnotes would go on a separate page before you were excited, but that will not be relevant to you. Okay, numbers. And again, these are the rules. You got to follow them. So, numbers that can be written in one or two words, 10, 15, 1,000, 22. They're written out. They're alpha. All others are numeric, 2 3/4, 3.14, 1,001. 1 to 2 words, written out. All other numbers, numeric. Any number that begins a sentence is written out. And do not write out the percent. Use the sign. With that said, there is no title page. I already said double-spaced everything, and I will remind you of that. In the upper left-hand corner, first page, list your name, your instructor's name, the course, and the date. Center the paper title. Nothing fancy with that. Create a header in the upper right corner, a ½ inch from the top and 1 inch from the right of the page. Include your last name and your page number. All right, what does that look like? That looks like this. You could see in the upper right-hand corner here, there's the name and the page number. And this is the first page, so you've got this stuff. Google Docs does have a way, as does Word, to make a header. If you're not sure, like let's say, I know sometimes I have trouble, a lot of people have trouble with the name and then they put 1, but every page now is 1. There is a way to fix that. I suggest you just Google it, look it up, watch a video, etc. So, that's what your first page is going to look like. And every page thereafter will have this in the top right corner with a different page number. Headings are generally optional. If you looked at some of the sample paper, you should have looked at some of the sample papers, you saw that there were headings in some of them. Headings in essays should be numbered, and they should be consistent in grammar and formatting, but otherwise, it's up to you. So they should look something like this. Whatever they are, they're consistent. I can't say that enough. Be consistent. Don't try to do 3 different things and just figure, well, I'll cover all my bases. No, that's not how it works. The way you want to do it is be consistent. That way, whatever you do, it looks like you're confident. If you're all over the place, you don't look confident. We've already said parenthetical citations. I'm not going to go over parenthetical citations because we've already done it, but that is what MLA citations are. They're parenthetical. APA uses footnotes. Just remember, there's only 2 ways to do citations, right and wrong. A quick reminder, quotes, paraphrases, statistics, all cited. Summaries are not cited. If you're not sure, cite it. You're better safe than sorry, because if you don't cite something, that is called plagiarism, and you don't want to do that, as we know. Now, with that said, those are the MLA rules. Again, I have shared this slideshow with you, and it goes over the works cited and the citations, but we've already gone over that, and I'm not going to bore you with that. But it's there. Just be aware. On Canvas, there is a final checklist. Please use it. Go through it. Make sure everything on it is checked off, because those are things I'm looking for. If you want to turn in your final Jupiter after going through all the MLA formatting stuff, you're welcome to do so. If you want more feedback before you turn it in, you can feel free to do that as well. I do ask you, grades are no longer relevant for pretty much all of you, but I do ask you to do the reflection, because I get a lot out of reading your reflections. I get a lot out of your mentality when writing it, decisions you've made, etc. And for me, by reflecting on something, that's how you really learn. So, the rest of this just goes over that stuff, the citations and stuff. And as I said, I'm not going over that. So, that is pretty much it. That is MLA citations. Please email me if you have any questions. That's pretty much the last step for the Jupyter paper. I'm excited to see what you've got. So again, if you have any questions, please email me. And if you don't want to submit after doing the MLA formatting, you want one last check with me, you are welcome to do so. You have the time to do that. Everyone have a good week. You've done great work, and I'll talk to you later.